How's everyone doing?
What's going on?
Welcome to the Intrigued Podcast. Was it episode 11?
11. It's been a while.
And it's on 7/11.
7/11.
July 11th.
Yeah.
Wow, that's
so
kind of
go to
embarrassing.
Slurpee. Wait. Is Slurpee... There are 7-Elevens, right?
Yeah.
Or is that just...
Or is that
Slurpee's
Circle K?
everywhere. I'm thinking like the Polar Pop, that's the Circle K one, right?
Yeah, and
Okay.
then Sheetz has some bomb.
Hey, if we need some sponsors, we're dropping some free.
Hey, yeah, come on now.
7-Eleven day. So what's on
That's-
your mind, man?
Dude, I got a bunch, really. I mean, you know me, just got back from vacation and stuff, so,
Yeah.
I'm always thinking and shit and going through fun things.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of been on the wild side lately, I feel like. Not like too crazy, but like just kind of just taking chances. Kind of like we were just talking about before the podcast. So, what you got on your mind too? I want to hear what you got.
I go through these phases where like a topic or maybe it's a person or maybe it's something that happened in history interests me, and then for like 2 or 3 days I'll just read almost anything I can about it, and then I kind of just go away from it. Maybe I'll come back to it in a year or two, but there's a topic that came up, something I was reading last night and into today a little bit that really kind of blows me away. Something that's going on in our world around us that maybe people like realize but don't ever think about, but we can dive into that in a minute. Do you want to start us off with something, or you want me to start off?
Dude, go into this.
All right.
I want to hear it.
So I'll just jump right into it here. I don't remember where this started or why this started. Oh, some lights were flickering off my house last night. Some lights were flickering on and off. And as far as where I stand on ghosts, paranormal activity, things like that, I believe to a degree, and that stuff's very interesting to me. And like my girlfriend and I, we're joking around like, oh, the ghosts are here, everything like that. Well, what it really came down to is we just fixed that light in our bedroom, and maybe some of the wires and everything, or maybe we didn't pull the drawstring hard enough, whatever it might have been.
Short circuiting.
Yeah, whatever it might have been. I didn't really think much of it, but it like kind of planted that seed in my mind. It incepted me, I guess you could say.
Yep.
So now I was like, you know what? And when you go into like, anytime you talk about like supernatural, the paranormal activity, things like that, your mind goes to like, at least my mind goes to like demonic possession.
Extreme measures, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So, oh man, I don't even know where to start with this, because I think this could be a really good conversation for us to have and a good kind of exercise. All right, now I haven't really talked. We've teased religion a lot on our pod as far as like diving into it, and obviously this is something we could talk about for hours on end. So I'll do my best not to like ask these real open-ended questions that could go down a 30-minute rabbit hole. But
it's tough with us.
I will say, like, I believe in God. I identify myself as a Christian. And I know that we might not agree on everything when it comes to that, which is totally okay. Totally okay.
Yes, definitely.
I don't think you're less of a human being because of that. I don't think I'm right. I don't think you're wrong. This is just...
It's your belief. Everybody
this
has
is just what I believe in.
Yep.
I don't think I'm right because of that. I don't think someone else is wrong. But so let me just ask you this. So you talk about like exorcisms, right?
Yeah.
So before I dive into that, so if you're not a terribly religious person, you do believe it's like one of the fundamental things that I think is something that we are taught at such an early age, is this idea of good and evil in the world. So let me ask you, do you think good and evil is just strictly human based? There are good people in this world and there are evil people in this world? Or do you think it's more there are good like forces in the world and almost more like you're supernatural, and this is where you talk about like, like having faith in the Holy Spirit coming through you, whatever that might be, and there are evil forces in the world of people who are tempted by the devil and driven to do evil thing and hear voices in their head that tell them to do bad things and voices that tell them to do good things. You see that cartoon. I always talk about it. I think I have it going on in my life all the time. There's like the little cartoon on the shoulder. There's the devil on one shoulder and there's the angel on the other shoulder.
You go.
So let me ask you that. Like, do you think that that idea of good versus evil, right? I think anyone, whether you're religious or not, you would agree that's like one of the like day and night. Like it's one of the most fundamental things we have in our lives, right?
Yeah, oh, definitely.
Do you think that is strictly based on human actions, or do you think there's more to it?
Like there's a higher power,
like a higher power, yeah.
I mean, geez, dude, like
I know it's that's some heavy stuff. We're 5 minutes in this podcast. That's
over time, I just feel like there are definitely just bad people out there, and for me, I think like I don't want to say this about everyone because it's not true for everyone, but there's definitely people out there and like religious people that you meet that I feel like at least always use, like I'm putting air quotes right now, like God as like a crutch for them, like for something that like for them personally makes them feel like, okay, someone else is like got my back and make sure I'm not feeling like an asshole that I am,
right?
Like because like everybody sins, everybody commits, does things that they might regret, or like learning lessons in life that I'd rather say the stepping stones. Everybody goes through that, but like that was one thing for me that like really like I don't know if it took me all the way away from religion or not, but like when I was younger, I used to find myself all the time being told to pray and do all these things, and I'd always pray and just throw everything into God's hands or whatever.
Right.
And then like I noticed, I'm not trying to be mean, this is just for myself only, like I noticed nothing was like going further, nothing was changing because I was just sitting there waiting on things.
Right.
And it's like, so I remember like it was nothing, man, just like yesterday I was like, I really looked at myself and I'm like, look, man, like it's all that matters is you. If you forgive yourself, or if you do the things that you want to do, or if you really look yourself in the fucking mirror and you go, hey man, like everything that's going wrong in my life, I put myself in that situation for the most part. So like you can't be asking for forgiveness for other things that may not even be there. And as of right now that you've been trying to like ask out for and it just wasn't there.
Yeah.
Like I'm not trying to sound like an abandoned person of God. Like I'm just saying like I noticed like once I started taking, I just started taking myself like as like the only person that I talk to or whatever, I guess in a way, like, and I really started taking accountability for my actions.
No,
like,
just kind of like
I've noticed things started clicking more, like really.
It's like if you like, are you proud to look at that person you see in the mirror? Do you hold yourself to that standard of, and like, look, we don't have to talk about our religious beliefs or anything like that. I would say, religious or not, good people want to do right by other people. You want to treat other people the way you want to be treated. The golden rule, right?
Yeah.
And it's just like you try to do right by people. You try not to lie to people. You try not to screw people over, take advantage of people. People that can't defend themselves, you want to reach out to. And you've spoken on this podcast at length. I mean, look at the career that you're pursuing right now.
Yeah, definitely.
You want to help out people who can't do things for themselves.
Yeah.
And I mean, to me, that's just flat out being a good human being.
Yeah.
And yeah, that does follow the teachings of what the Bible might say.
That's what I was. Yeah, that's what I'm telling you. Yeah.
But I will say, being someone that does believe in God, I think that there are people in this world that manipulate. That they're just kind of like what you said. That kind of twist around the words of the gospel and try to twist around the Bible to benefit themselves, or maybe to make money. The Roman Catholic Church is the number one business in the world. Yeah. I mean, like that. There's no denying that. It's the number one business in the world. So it's like there are people that I think kind of warp that and taint that and make it convenient for them. But that's a whole nother thing. So go ahead.
My whole thing was, I'm just saying that I think it's more like where you're thinking of like maybe like bad and evil, like or good and evil, I should say. Like being like a higher power. Yeah. That's why I kind of like see it as just like we're just using it as crutches. Like a prime example is look at like your more childish relationships that you had when you were growing up. Like no matter how good of a person you thought you were, and the same goes for your ex-girlfriends or other people's ex-boyfriends, whatever it may be. Yeah. Like once you guys get in a big fight and somebody talks to you about it, you're quick to go, oh, but they're just such an asshole. They're a bitch. This is why they do it. Like you quick to like just point the finger because you're trying to make yourself feel better
and cast judgment.
And it's a crutch, and I feel like that's what a lot of people use. Like you see people, like I know a lot of religious people, that like if they're acting wild, their family's instantly, oh, you might have some bad coming to you. You got the sign of a devil coming around you. It's like, let's wash you out. Like we're just using excuses, or like at least for me, it's an excuse. Like once I really, for me in my life, that really helped me like really just push all the way forward and get myself to be the positive person I can be. Was just stop worrying about anything and just be like, hey, everything is, if like the way I try to live it, really, like regardless of what happens, like even if it is totally somebody else's fault, at the end of the day, I let that person get close to me, and I put that myself. Like I try to just say I put myself in every situation. So if it's either bad or good, I just want to know it's me. So I just try to live that way. Like I notice like I'm like just for me, I love spending every moment I possibly can, like bettering myself or like just living a life I want to do. So
Absolutely,
it's like, I felt like I was wasting time. Like always, like like really, you kind of are wasting time. Always like putting that, especially to like better yourself. You're wasting time by instantly putting it like, oh, every act of good is, oh no, it's God. And every act of bad, oh, it may be the devil. It may be just bad people around you. It's everybody else. Like no, like that's crazy to me because it's like, hey, look, like and not to be cocky. Like it's a bad thing to be confident nowadays. I feel like everybody thinks it's just instantly cocky. Like look, everybody in this world, like regardless of the help you had and everything, like if you did something good, guess what? You did that. That's you.
Yeah.
Be happy for yourself. Don't say, hey, that's God, that's everybody else. Like, I know that might be us because we're humble, but it's like, look, like at the end of the day, you just gotta understand that was you. And every bad moment that comes to your life, at the end of the day, that was you. Like you put yourself in that situation. So that's what I think. I really think there are, like, especially after working with people with disabilities and everything, to go like back to your whole point. Like I really just believe that it's like everybody, like it's you. There are good and there are bad people, and there also are good people that do bad things, and there also are bad people that do good things. So
absolutely.
it's like it's an overall madness, and we have almost 8 billion people on this little not tiny planet, but a planet like like on the land that we have, like we're taking a lot of it up. Like I know if we really like spread ourselves out equally, we'd have so much land. It would be. We talk about it all the time, how much everybody could have, but like for where we all pack each other at,
and the scarcity of resources.
Yeah, like it's just bound to be this way. But dude, that's. Okay. I really love that point though, like because I like that's where I look at it, because a lot of people them are always like being like, oh, it's God, or like we were just saying. Like,
okay.
Yes.
All right. Well, I asked you that because I'm trying to like walk you down this road right here. I asked you that to ask you something else. So, and I think any rational person will tell you, yes, there is good and evil in this world. Whether it's God and the devil, whether it's the person that held the door for you versus the person that cut you off and flipped you off driving down the road. Yeah. Whatever. Or it's the person that, fires someone for no good reason. You could give me 1,000 examples of good deeds and evil deeds, whatever it might be. Okay. So this is where I'm going to bring it back. I asked you that to ask you this. So you bring it back to the whole entire idea of like possessions and exorcisms. So, let me ask you this real quick. Do you believe that people can be possessed by demons or evil forces that are not of this world?
See, that's a tough one, because, like, for the most part, I really think a lot of the possessions and stuff are just people that either go, like, absolutely insane, or they have, like, multi-personality disorder. Yeah. That's a real fucking thing.
Well, this is where you see, and if you read anything about them, this is kind of where, church and science kind of butt heads, because they're, the doctors, scientists, psychologists that want to say this could be a mental instability, and this
I think about it all the time.
Maybe you're schizophrenic, whatever it could be. But then there's the church where, like, the Roman Catholic Church does commission exorcists. Like, there are priests who strictly do exorcisms. And there are stories of them working. There are stories of them not working, And I think it's one of those taboo things. Like, we're here at my house right now, right?
Yeah.
We just had a party on Saturday. We had some people over, cookout, we're hanging on the deck, all that stuff. Like, I don't think this is something you just bring up to someone and be like, hey man, what do you think about exorcisms? Like, it's one of those taboo topics. But to me, the scariest movies I've ever seen, like, as much as I love the Halloween movies, the slasher movies and everything like that, the scariest movies to me were the ones that dealt with, like paranormal activity and,
possession.
Some sort of possession, because I think these things happen in our world today. I really do. So that's kind of where I was going with this, is that if you were possessed, I mean, and when you talk about possession, the things you see in the movies usually are pretty tried and true. Maybe someone's speaking a language that there was no way they possibly knew. A lot of times it's like Latin or something like that.
Yeah.
Or they respond very violently to any sort of like holy item, whether it's holy water or rosary, cross, whatever. You see crosses like turned upside down in the house. Things fly off shelves. You hear the bed levitating. They can move things. Like maybe they know something about you that there's absolutely no way they would know, because they might be reading your mind. So this goes with this thing that I had to look up, psychokinesis.
You
hear about them moving things with your mind. And from what I heard, and this is crazy too, this is a whole nother thing, is that like as far as we know right now, as far as what's been recorded, this idea of moving something with your mind, like you have a water bottle in front of you right now, like me focusing on that water bottle to move it. I guess human beings, I just read this online, so again, anything you read online, take with a grain of salt, could have been made up, but is that human beings have been recorded moving things up to 2 pounds with their minds. Now, that is without demonic possession. You talk about demonic possession, you hear these stories of superhuman strength and throwing 3 people off of you.
Yes.
Throwing, all the plates over there in that cabinet out and smashing them. Obviously, that's more than 2 pounds. So, but when you get possessed, what do people cling to normally? You call it the church, right?
Yeah.
Now, this is if you believe in possession, and believe that there are demonic forces in this world, believe the whole entire thing. I go into my bathroom right now, close the door, and I say a demon's name 5 times. Next thing you know, I'm.
Have you ever done that though?
I did the Candyman thing. I don't know if you ever heard that one.
Candyman sucked. Yeah. Bloody Mary used to scare the fuck out of me, but never worked.
But
dude. Okay, so I'm gonna take the mic real quick because
go for it.
I have 2. No, you're good. I just because I have 2 responses to you real quick.
Okay.
So okay, for the first part that I'm gonna say, like this kind of really changed my mind. Like I've always heard it and everything. Yeah. I've heard some good quotes about it, but actually doing this test that it wasn't really a test, but it's just like this little little game that I guess they came up with, this practice thing that we did. There was 12 of us in the room.
Okay. And
it was for work. It was just this training thing,
yeah.
But it was just to go to say you can't ever trust what anybody says.
Yeah.
I'll take it to a deeper level. But okay, so we had 12 people in the room. We lined each other up one by one. We had 12 just side by side. We were all close to each other.
Yeah.
Shoulder to shoulder. The instructor of the class walked up to the first person in line, whispered a longer sentence, but
I think I know where this is going. Yeah,
and by the third person, man, nobody knew what the words by, and then by the 12th, so by the 12th person, it wasn't even the same thing.
Right.
So now you take yourself and you think of all these stories that happened from the 1800s, 1700s, because those were for most of the possessions were in early 1900s. That's where a lot of those are. And there have been a lot, and I feel like more in the UK is where they're at, later.
I did see a story, and again, and I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I did see a story that the Vatican actually held a meeting in just maybe it was May of this year for an increased number of requests for exorcisms.
Well, yeah. Here's where I'll get to though. So I think a majority of them, truly, if not all of them, you never know. But a majority of them, most stories, it doesn't even have to be this stuff. But I just think by over time, you got to think of the neighbors next to a house. You see the movies what is it? The
Exorcist.
No, what was that other one? I mean, they're all like that. But the family with
Conjuring.
The Conjuring, that's it. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'm happy you knew that because I wouldn't have been able to come. Okay, so you see that movie where if somebody was even a mile down the street and they found out from the city cop, they're gonna take that, tell somebody like, oh shit, so this is what happened.
They might embellish
and then
a little
by
bit.
the time 5 people get it, they're gonna go, okay, so this demon was in the house, throwing tables, like all that stuff. And by the time everybody heard it, it was just this big folklore that really didn't happen. And like you see that all the time on ESPN, relationships in high school, like friendships, people be blowing shit out of proportion.
Yeah.
And like we all worry.
And it almost becomes like legend.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. So like that's where I kind of think, especially kind of like today's like exorcisms, like everybody's quick to like blame themselves, like or blame devil for themselves, or like because we're growing up to just hearing we can only live our life by our past, you know, like, and if we're growing up and hearing the scariest things and we're the most vulnerable at our time when we're little, like of course throughout our life we're gonna be scared by that shit because that's like that's something that really scares people because it's the unknown, kind of what we've been talking about. So like, but dude, I will say though, this is where I like, because I do believe in ghosts and stuff, but like I just think for the most part, like majority of them is just people in their heads, like. But here's my thing, like I've had like 2 or 3 occasions in my life that I really like felt another presence in there. Like I've had more than 2 or 3 just feeling presence, but like actually like being touched, like I really felt that shit one time. And I've had 2 other experiences where I've seen like things move, and you don't know if it's your mind or not or whatever. But it's like for me and my mind and everything, like that shit was real. So like I really do believe in higher powers and shit that we will never even know of. Like really. I think there's things that like maybe until we're dead or
kind of like there's almost like a dimension or a
realm kind of like
between life and death,
like low key like Stranger Things, like where they have the upside down, like not where like those actual like Dungeon and Dragon demons are and everything, like where
Demogorgon
the Demogorgons and everything, like not where that is, but I'm talking like just like actual like ghosts and shit, like a dimension that they can go through, or like because. Another one too is that like, do you believe in energy instead of ghost? And technically, like, do you think somebody can put so much passion and so much, you know, energy and time in a certain place that just over time, they somehow, just some way we don't even understand yet, that your energy is stuck there forever, or just who you were, because you love something so much. Like, because like you ever hear people, they like if they say if you believe in other lives, like you have multiple lives, that like there's certain souls that you always connect with. You kind of like Hancock, kind of type shit, where it's like it's always that girl, like that's the only one that weakens him, like.
And I feel like I've heard stories of like, loved ones, like speaking through an animal or a pet or something.
Dude,
like that.
Yeah, like that
or
shit,
like, or doing something that like there's no way that animal would know about. And then you always
channeling's like, a real
thing. Animals always, you know, in the movies and everything, animals always pick up. They have these senses for this kind of stuff. And I do think that there are good forces, and I think that there are good like ghosts. I think there are good presences in your life, and I think that there could be negative ones though too. It's not fun to talk about the good ones.
I kind of, there's sometimes, bro, I'm not even gonna lie to you, because I'm not very religious.
Yeah.
But there are some times that just because I believe in ghosts as well, like, so I couldn't be just stupid and not believe in, like, angels and shit.
Yeah.
Dude, there are some times that I look at certain people that, like, are homeless and things, and I'm really looking at them and I go, you know, that person's off. Like, it's not the fact that they're homeless and shit. It's just, like, there's something about them that's greater than, like, who they... I don't know if I just feel that shit. But, like, really, dude, I'm not even lying to you. There's times I've seen that, or, like, even animals I'm around, that, like, I, like, because, like, my dog, Lexi, I'm not fucking kidding, dude. Like, there's times where I really am looking at her and, like, spend time with her, and there's been other animals I've walked up to or whatever. Like, and I just feel like there's something off about them. Like, they understand too damn much about things. Like, because you connect with your dogs. You've had dumb dogs, and you've had dogs where you're like, wait a second, like, this dog knows, like, just by looking at me how I'm feeling, and I know they have extra senses and shit, but, like, I'm talking just, like, on a telekinetic level. Like, that shit, I don't know, man. There's sometimes I do believe in that shit. I really do. Like, because it blows my mind, really. Because, dude, the random people that you see in your life that have, somehow have a connection with you. Like, this, I'll tell the story right now while I'm here. Like, that's what I was going to say about my vacation. Like, there were a couple things I did on vacation that, like, really, like, you know, it was really cool for me to do, stepping out of my comfort zone in a way. And just the results, man, blew my mind. So... I went to Destin, Florida, like just a couple weeks ago. Spent 10 days there. It was amazing. Nice getaway from life. No, I shouldn't say life, because that was life, you know. So like getting away from the rat race, I should say. It was very soothing. But you know, for me on vacation, I started this shit 2 years ago. So I guess it's been the third year in a row, or third vacation in a row. That I wake up in the morning and I do yoga and I run, and like, I go on a run or like try to get a workout in or something like outdoors, because when I'm on vacation, I'm trying to live my best life. There's people say nowadays, and like, like realistically, man, the best times I ever feel is when I wake up and I get a workout in or something before even 8:30.
Start the day.
And then you get your breakfast in, and by 9:00, 9:30, you're all like, everybody's like not even awake yet.
Yeah.
And you're ready, you're amped, you're excited. You know, you got you're awake. You know.
Mm-hmm.
So we stayed about 0.7 miles exactly from the beach. So I'd wake up in the morning, run to the beach, and then I'd run the beach a little bit. Mm-hmm. Well, I think day two that I ran, so I guess technically day 4, it was Monday. I was running on the beach and everything, and about a quarter mile down, I see this group working out, sand workouts and everything. They got sandbags and everything.
It's a good workout.
So, dude, I'm like, okay, so am I about to be a bitch? Because I was fiending about, like, I'm working out, bro. Like, I needed to work out.
Right.
Like, I know, like, I'm sure you get in those days where you're like, holy shit, I feel like a fat piece of shit. Especially at the beach. Like,
the endorphins.
Yeah,
man.
like, that's when you're going the most, because it's like, dude, like, you're pretty much shirtless the entire time. Like, in my case, I was shirtless 90% of the time. Like, not trying to be, like, and you're like trying to show off or anything. It's so damn fucking hot.
It feels good.
So you're feeling good. You're in water. You're not trying to worry about anything.
Florida too in the summer. So
dude. So so I walk up to this group and I go, screw it. I'm gonna walk up to them, see if they would let me work out with them. So I walk up, 5 people, real nice. Like met them and everything. It was Gary and I forget his lady's name. I always forget, but it was his wife. And then they had 3 other people. And I forget their names. I only met them twice of the 4 times I worked out or something. But so shaking their hands and everything, we start doing we did a circuit, just I think a 5-station circuit. Just did like a bunch of shit in the sand, worked out, kicked my ass really. Yeah. And talking to these people, and they're like, "Oh, where are you from?" And like when you're in Florida and you're meeting all these other people, they have no idea where Canton or Massillon, Ohio is. So like
I always say Pro Football Hall of Fame, and people are like, "Oh, okay, I'm kind of familiar." Or
I did
say just south of Cleveland, and
I say Cleveland, because after a while you say Canton, Mass, and then everybody's like, "Oh, I don't know where the Hall of Fame is. Like, what the hell are you talking about?" Right. Like, so I usually say Cleveland. Yeah. And they're like, "Oh, okay." She's like, so the one lady, they originally told me they live in Los Angeles, and the other one lives in Georgia. Okay. So they go, "Oh, did you ever hear of Canton? Like Canton or McKinley exactly?" Because I was like, "Yeah, actually, that's where I live." And she was like, "Wow, yeah, I graduated from McKinley." And I'm like, "Wait, hold up!" Like they're older, like they're in their 40s or something, but like, you graduated from McKinley High School with Bulldogs and everything. I'm like, I actually live in Massillon, like I live in Canton, but I graduated from Massillon.
Yeah.
She was like, "Wow, okay, now you're a Tiger, huh? So I can't like you." And I was like, so like they're like, they're pretty much letting you know, like they're So then the guy Gary, he's like, "I actually graduated from," because I was like, "I graduated from Tulsa actually," and he goes, "No way, Pac-12 and everything. Like I graduated from Malvern and everything." I'm like, "What the fuck?" Like so I'm blown away here. Right. So then to come to find out, man, that they work for Advocare, which is a really big supplement place and everything for sports, and Drew Brees is like their biggest sponsor and everything. Okay. So, dude, they're like top people there and everything, and they're offering me a job and working for them and everything, and like that's what the other 3 were there for, because they were the top sellers the last year. And these guys, dude, they're all young, but dude, like you can tell they got money just because I went to their house one time and I saw like their cars and shit, like. Dude, these guys got money.
Doing well for themselves.
Dude, so like they were talking, like the one kid pulled me aside. He was 26 or something. He's like, "Look, man, I know, I understand," because I told him what I was doing, about to move to Columbus and everything. Yeah. Because you get to know people, Right. And especially they're working out, cool, like-minded people like me, like open-minded. It was cool, So he pulls me aside and he's like telling me how much he's making. He's like, "Look, like I'm not gonna go exactly into numbers, but he's like, I just want you to know I've worked here for the last 5 years. Yeah. And I was going to school and everything at Florida State." And everything, and talking about how like he was doing well for himself, and he actually dropped down everything to do this, and like he was like, "Look, dude, like I just want you to know I doubled or more in the last 4 years of my total annual income." And I'm sitting here like, what the fuck? Like, okay. So, like, that's, they have a house and everything. Like, they show that has Advocare sponsors and everything around it that they sell out, or they at least let their top sellers go to in the summer. Okay. And, of course, like, the owners and everybody go to. Yeah. So, it's pretty cool. And, like, I, like, got their, I got all their contact information and everything. And, like, so, like, dude, like, I might, like, work with them a little bit. You never know. Like, it's just, like, it's an opportunity,
It's a chance encounter, though,
Yeah, it's if you want to do it, like, it's cool to know. Because I do it on the side. I wouldn't drop everything for it. but like I would definitely, it's something you could do.
Yeah,
like see
there's
how
something
it
that
goes.
told you to go up and talk to them. You just
Dude, it
have
was
to
just,
be in a
it's weird,
situation.
you know. It's just, and like I met a lot of people there that like it was just weird. Like we're all like, and you might be in the same situation, or like, because I always ask people all the time, because I'm a big believer. Like you kind of believe in like, you know, ghosts and like higher powers and everything like that. Like I'm a big believer that people are like on the same wavelengths sometimes, and you interact with these people, like, because if you believe that everything happened for a reason, then everybody in your life is there for a reason, you know. And it's like I met a lot of people, not just that group, but I met a lot of people that like that I was talking to, and like if it wasn't just for me doing my own thing, I probably would have never talked to them, you know. And it's like that was really cool when I was with a big group of people, and it's really easy to kind of get stuck into like their day, and it's like it's really cool to, you know, stick to yourself and like do your thing, because you never know the opportunities that can come up.
No, I do think, you know, maybe it's just like being an optimist or whatever, but I think that if you want something bad enough, if you're striving towards something, I think the universe kind of helps you out sometimes and kind of moves in ways that if your eyes and ears are open to it, like it's helping you out.
Well, does it ever like, you know, kind of like bother you sometimes to think, because like you live it, I could just speak for myself, but like I feel like I know you enough that I can say this, like dude, like we're living a life right now that like when we look back at the time we were 15, 20, whatever, like even yesterday sometimes it feels like it's like we're such different people from that point, like than we were. It's like we're so different, like it kind of blows my mind sometimes, because like I used to walk around my head down, pissed off, maybe not pissed off, but like just not talking to people,
right?
Anything, you know, maybe down, whatever it may be, and it's like living the life that I do now, and it's like it's weird, man. It's like it kind of upsets me sometimes to think like, wow, what opportunities could I have done then for myself? But like if I didn't do it, if I didn't do it now, I would have never done it now. So it's like you got to learn your lessons, you know. So
yeah, but you can't. I mean, I
try not to like. I do.
You can't beat
like,
yourself up over that.
No, I don't. I definitely don't. But it's just like it's cool to think sometimes, because it's like, dude, like wow, like.
But
it definitely helps you get hungry for your future, because we're still young as fuck. That's the thing. That,
absolutely.
Like, that's the amazing thing.
Well, you kind of touched on it earlier. I heard it a couple years ago, and it's just like, you know, what are you doing today to try and make your life better tomorrow? You know, and if you're trying to be the best version of yourself you can possibly be, then I think you're doing something right. So I know we've probably talked about this in some way, shape, or form ad nauseum on our pod, but
it's funny. I try to say like live in the moment and stuff, but like at the end of the day, like it makes your life. I'm not gonna say a lot easier, because you never know what's gonna happen, but like for the most part, percentage wise, like it really does make it. Like if you just kind of like put a side note in there and like remember just to kind of think every time and go, okay, would this help my future self? Like, it's weird to like kind of talk like.
And sometimes you're dead wrong. Sometimes you're like, oh yeah, this is definitely gonna help. And then you get there, it's like, oh crap.
Well, like I'm talking for them, because you learn lessons. That's what I'm saying. Like for the most part, like you put yourself in certain situations. It's like, oh shit, I learned last time. I'm never doing this. I don't like being in a shitty situation.
Right.
So
Right.
it's, I don't know. That's pretty awesome though. Like,
yeah. All right. You got anything else you want to touch on?
Yeah, I definitely do. Let me know how much time I got right now. Where are we at right now?
We're at the 32-minute mark.
Okay, we can get this in. So, okay, man, kind of like I'm just gonna go off of this vacation thing kind of as well, real quick, because it's like, actually, I'm not gonna lie to you. Last night, I kind of had a big moment that was like this, but like, there's certain times I feel like at least where, and I'll ask you this:
was it an epiphany? Would you call it?
No,
an epiphany?
I wouldn't say that. I just like. Because I've had epiphanies in my life, or at least I feel like I have, you know, and it's
like a minor revelation.
Yeah, like this one was more. I don't know. Okay, cause I'm gonna go back to I think our first podcast, to our favorite Kobe quotes and everything, and we were talking about his jersey retirement one.
Yeah,
where he looks at his kids and he says, "Look, like you know the times, like you know your dreams, and everything that you're shooting for, like you're living in that right now, like you know that whole thing."
Right.
So like, dude, do you ever find yourself like? I would kind of like to say, you've seen the movie Click with Adam Sandler.
Yeah.
Kind of like skim through life. Do you ever find yourself like skimming through moments and then like you find ones that you're like, oh shit, like this, I'm in a moment right now. Like, you ever like find yourself like sitting back and like, okay, shit, like I think this moment right now is one of those ones that I'm gonna remember the rest of my life type shit. Like, do you have those? Like that's because I didn't know if like people like, because like dude, there's times I know there's like bigger moments in life like if somebody dies, shit like that. Like I'm not talking like that. I'm talking more like you're more focused than ever before, and you're in a situation, like or not situation, but you're in the moment, and like it feels like you can't even think about anything else. Like you're so clear-minded, you're so focused on one thing, and it's like you're in like one of the happiest moments you've ever had.
Like I can't, like maybe this is a really bad analogy, but I don't know why. Because I've been wanting to watch this movie again recently, but the movie Taken, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Do you remember when Liam Neeson's on the phone with his daughter, and she's in the apartment, and he's like, "They're in there with you. I can hear
They're
them.
going to
You know, they're going to take you." And he's like, "Yell out everything you possibly can." You know, and then she does get taken, and she starts yelling out, like, I know it's like maybe a really bad analogy, but like I find myself having those moments where it's like, okay, you want to remember every single detail about this. Remember the smells, remember what you see, remember how you feel, remember what other people say, remember what you say. Like, this is a memory, you know, this is a moment that you're going to look back on and be like, you know, those are good times. Or like this, or maybe not so much a good time, like this is a turning point in my life, you know? And yeah, so I definitely, I know the feeling.
I'm gonna tell you the two. Like this is like the two. Like I'm gonna be real with you, man. Like there's some of the like more pure moments I've ever had in my entire life. Like there's that one. Okay, well I'll just say the last two, but like this is my like favorite one ever. Like I'll never forget. The first time I ever saw Times Square is one of those moments that you're just like, holy fuck, like holy garbanzo beans, you know. But no, like okay, so. Again on vacation, I have to watch the sunset, man. It is the most beautiful. Like I know it sounds cliche, but like until you really actually see that shit, especially in Destin, Florida, where the water is so damn clear and the sand looks like snow, like dude, until you see the beautiful sight of the sun, like basically say you can barely see it anymore, to like that orange turning into the most beautiful blue you've ever seen, into like a green. And then into like a blue purple hue and then black. And all in one sky, you can see the sun all the way to nothing but darkness, and you can see the moon and the stars. Dude, it's like I was literally saying in the moment, like if I could just close my eyes and like take a screenshot of that and always see that, probably like it would probably be it forever. Like, and then I can't even lie to you, I'm not gonna name drop or nothing, but like last night I was with this girl and like we were laying there or whatever, and like she was like looking down at me or whatever, bro. One of the most beautiful women I've ever seen, and like beautiful people. Like she's an amazing person. Like I'm not trying to sit here and like sound crazy or anything, but like she's definitely like amazing person. And like I'm sitting here, like I find I was full third person mode, man. I was like outer body experience. Like I'm looking at myself smiling, and like it's like I haven't like smiled like that in so long. Like not to sound like a girl or whatever, but like dude, like I'm like a pretty happy person. But like to really see yourself happy or like feel yourself happy and feeling like there's nothing else in the world that matters right now. Like that shit's a dope feeling, man. I've never had that shit like that pure ever. Like I will always remember just like that view and like how I felt. Like I know it was just last night and it's kind of biased or whatever, but like dude, like I couldn't tell you what I ate for lunch yesterday.
It's vivid,
so
because it's recent.
So like but like dude, like I'm saying, I couldn't tell you what I ate for lunch yesterday. Like sometimes like clearly I probably could, but like there are times where like I'm saying, like there are times where I really feel like I'm skimming through moments. Like probably the drive on the way here, I didn't even take anything in probably. Like I try to look at scenery and stuff, but you do it so long and you are an autopilot. Yeah. And it kind of that's something that really does intrigue me, man. Like as a human being, like to see, like just to be aware of like there's times where you're not even aware of the moment. You're not even aware of things around you. You're lost in your phone. And like kind of to talk what you were saying, like you want to like really just like enjoy every moment. And to be on fucking vacation, bro, at the beach, seeing every person around you with their phones out, taking pictures, looking at their phone, looking at the scenery through their phone. Bro, it breaks my fucking heart, dude. Like, I seriously saw... That shit happened to me a couple years ago, and I was looking at my phone like, I don't remember any of this shit. I don't remember the vacation at all. Since then, I lost my phone. Can barely tell you what we did on vacation. But I've really done I put a conscious effort into making sure I'm just witnessing every moment through my eyes.
No, you're absolutely right. I mean, yeah, you're totally right. Because, I mean, look at how many people just, it's like that automation addiction, you know? It's just like, you just get addicted to that. And then, like, humans didn't have cell phones 30 years ago, 20 years ago. And we remember family vacations and, you know, special nights or like that special connection you have with someone. You remember that? You don't need to look at a picture to remember that, you know? Like, I think that sometimes we don't give ourselves enough credit. Like, it's going to get seared into your brain. you know, that young lady you had this experience with last night. Maybe you guys go on a date. Maybe you're together for a long time. Maybe you go on one more date and never talk to her again.
Maybe from now on, and never, like, I'm not going to say I'll never talk to her again, but you never fucking know.
Like that, like right now, that moment feels big to you, but that moment's always going to be there. Anytime you think of her, it's always going to be there to some degree. You know?
No, here's my okay, so here's another deep question. I guess this kind of gets deep personally, but like to ask you, like, are there certain people in your life that you might not even talk to right now, or like you might only had one experience with? Like, are there certain people that you like? So like we say we have like a small group or whatever. Like you say you only got 4 or 5 people that you truly love. Say it's like that situation. Like you can't even, like, for me that's like I'm kind of that way, but I can't even act stupid or act fake or anything like that and say that there aren't people that have impacted me so much that I'm gonna remember them for the rest of my life and have a certain respect for them for so long. Like, not because it's like, dude, like, and it doesn't even go with the people that have been there forever. Like, there are people that I had so close to me that, like, I really loved at the time, but, like, I don't talk to anymore. Yeah. And, like, I truly, like, of course I want the greatest for them, but, like, I don't, like, think about them. I probably never think of them ever again, shit like that. But, like, there are people that I've met once, maybe worked with for a month, that had such a positive impact on me that, like, really will stick with me forever. Oh, or, like, even one moment, like, there are, like, certain people that, like, just help you personally. Yeah. Like, cause like, there might be like an ego trip or something you're going on or something, but like, guess what? Like, this person helps you to be where you're gonna be, and it's like, it's crazy. We get, like, for me, I don't know if you're the same way, but I get caught up in movies sometimes, and I'm seeing like all these cool actors. Caught up in a couple movies. No, you get these cool actors, these cool actresses, these cool storylines. You're like, wow, I want my life to be like that. But like at the end of the day, you got to take a fucking step back, look yourself in the mirror, and go, look, like, hey, all those moments that are going on around you, but you're just bitching about who's in them. You can't control who's there. Right. Like, that's who it is. That's what you got. You can't complain. Like, and that's, I don't know, man. Like, I don't know. There are a few people that I have in my life that, yes, I'll never talk to probably ever again. But till the day I die, I will probably remember them forever, just because
they made some sort of impression,
a huge impact on you. That either helped you personally. Or well, I mean, I guess everything's a personal gain if it's gonna, remember gain if it's gonna make, if you're gonna remember it forever.
Right. There's I mean, I can think of just, and this is just surface level. I'd have to sit here and think about it. I could definitely come up with probably at least half a dozen people, outside of just what I did for this last 4 years being a teacher, and now that I'm transitioning, I'm doing a career pivot, I'm doing something else. But I can name you probably right now off the top of my head 3, 4, 5 people that I got to work with. It might have been for a year, it might have been for 2 years, but that I got to work with teaching that, you know what, we've gone separate ways. I work somewhere much different. I'm in a different career.
We're in different paths. Yeah.
It might be, but I'll tell you what, if that person needs something or I pick up the phone, like, that person has made that impact on me, and they're still, like, that's still my person. Like, that's my dude, or that's my girl, whatever.
Yeah. Not
I
feel you. No,
like, that's my girl. Like, my girlfriend's gonna hear this and be like, what are you talking about? That's my girl. No, but like that's a solid person that, like, they need something, I'm gonna help them out, or like, I genuinely want to know how their life is going. Yes. I'm not just calling them being like, hey, how you been? How's work going? Like, I genuinely want to know, like, what is your day to day like? How are you getting by? Are you doing
living it up? You chasing your dreams still? Like.
Yeah, absolutely. And because you go through these experiences in life with people,
but then there's another part of me though that makes you really sit there and think, like, the famous saying of never meet your heroes. Mm-hmm. Like, dude, like, that's another thing that, like, kind of scares me sometimes, because, like, a lot of people that did have a huge impact on me, the big reason I don't talk to them anymore is probably because I just didn't like the path they were going down. Like, and maybe it might have got worse, because there's probably definitely situations that I just know off the top of my head that definitely got worse for these people that definitely, like, if I was around them right now, it might impact, like,
well, some of those. You feel like everyone's got it figured out.
And I learned
and then
that.
You feel like, oh wait, maybe they don't have it all.
That shit's funny to me, man. The older you get, and you realize, like, oh shit, all these people that I thought had their shit together, and all these professions that, like, I thought had their shit together, really have no fucking idea what they're doing.
No, I think, and there are I think a very select few number of people who have it figured out.
You know those people though. Those are those
Yeah.
people. Those are those fucking people that are there that you might never talk to ever again.
But they don't make
But
movies. They don't make
put-
movies about those people,
Yeah.
really.
Those people make the world go
Everyone-
fucking round, man.
Yeah, but I think every single person on planet Earth is carrying some sort of burden. Like, everyone has, like you hear that phrase, like a cross to bear. Like, everyone to some degree or another has struggles. No matter how much money you have, no matter how much fame you have, how many friends you have, how healthy you are. Everyone's going through something. Everyone. That's something else I heard too, is like, like we could get so caught up in our feelings and like, oh my God, my life sucks.
I'm a bitch.
But it's like, there's always someone that has it worse than you. And in our situation, we're sitting here, we're Americans right now. We're automatically at an advantage over so many other countries that are disadvantaged. We're sitting here in a house with air conditioning right now, and it's 85 degrees outside. We already have...
Let me hit you with a deep one that always gets me.
Okay.
This is what pretty much humbles me at all times. Everybody. That's one of my favorite things to say is, hey, no matter how hard you think you got it, like there are people that have it harder.
Someone else always has it worse.
Bro,
yeah.
The way that I look at it is, like, okay, if I look back at the time when I was 8 years old, 10 years old,
okay,
let's go even older, 15, whatever it may be, the times that I was in, that I was in one of those moments, was like, I want to get out of this forever, like,
yeah.
I'm having the hardest time.
Yeah.
Like, I look at myself now, and if at 15 I could be where I was right now, I would never bitch again. Like, that's the way I would have looked at back then. But I still catch myself bitching about dumb shit. And it's like,
oh yeah,
that's the thing that humbles me. It's like, man, what are you complaining about?
Right.
You just last week you were in a place that you never wanted to be, and look where you're at now. You're in a better place. You're not thinking of that shit, but you're still complaining. Like,
life.
That shit's funny to me, man. I laugh at myself a lot. I think that shit's funny.
life changes so fast. They say, and I always try to remind myself of this. Maybe this will be the last thing. I'll leave it.
Yeah, I agree. We got to get going.
They say that it is physically impossible to be angry and grateful at the same time. Like, we are not capable of feeling both those emotions at the same time.
Oh, there's certain ones like that.
If you're truly feeling grateful for your life and like counting your blessings and the things that you are happy about and the things that you feel like are truly a blessing that you're lucky to have, it's really, really hard to be angry at the same time. And I definitely I catch myself like, why are you so worked up right now, Walt? Why are you so worked up? Things could be so much worse for you than they are right now, But
all right, so I heard this quote the other. Okay, so this one kind of blew. This would be my last one too. It'd be my final take.
We'll leave it with this.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
As long as you're okay.
No,
with that.
we've ended on quotes before, so this is
so here. Okay, so the one that I don't know, kind of. Dude, I just lost a fucking quote. I was sitting here like, Jesus, I had it, and then we said something, but. Damn! Alright, give me 1 second. Gotta think of this shit.
Hey, this podcast is brought to you by...
I'm not trying to be the worst right here, but what was your final, say? Because that's what had me, thinking of it.
I was talking about... See, now I lost it, too.
No,
I was just talking about...
Look at us.
There's always someone that has it worse. Counting your blessings. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, no, that was exactly.
See, this is what happens.
Dude,
we get in the zone and we just like.
Fuck it. I guess we ain't even going off it. No, okay. So no, I had it. Okay, no, fucking got it. It's back.
Okay.
So I heard this quote the other day that kind of blew my mind because it's like it had me thinking on a deeper level, and it definitely has me thinking about what you were just saying.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact, have you ever heard this saying like once you're an addict, you're always an addict, regardless if you go through rehab and everything.
Okay. Yeah.
So I try to look at that my way in happiness. Like I feel like once you're happy, you're always happy, but you're just taking a break from or something. I always when you're in that down moment, I'm always saying well, once you tasted happiness, you're always gonna find it again, as long as it's up to you, So it's that's what I try to put it in that way.
Yeah, I think life is so reactionary.
I know people. Yeah, I know people could say oh, well, it could be the same way with depression. Once you're depressed, you're always depressed regardless. But it's look, you come into this world happy pretty much. Let's be real.
Right.
You're a happy baby. You're sad. Whatever.
Yeah.
We got mixed emotions all the time.
Mm-hmm.
For overall, you're pretty happy as a kid.
Mm-hmm.
And it's I feel once you taste that, it's always gonna come back. It's always there. It's never gonna change. It's just what you want in it.
Yeah, I just it's up to us. There's a quote I heard, man. Quote on top of quote on top of quote. I promise this.
We're quoting.
But life life is 10% what happens to you and 90% how you react.
Yep.
And that's up to you. And that's your attitude. Like,
that's life.
Like, you go back to these chance encounter things. I cannot help but share this story. My wheel fell off my car. Did I tell you about this?
Yeah, you told me about this. This is a good
My
one.
wheel fell off my car. This would be 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
3 weeks ago, Friday. So 3 weeks ago in 2 days, my wheel falls off my car. I'm driving down the highway. I'm going on an exit ramp. So I'm slowing down a little bit. And the ball joint comes undone. And so the tire's sideways. I'm screeching. I thought the actual tire came off, but like the wheel just came disconnected from my front axle. And I'm sitting there and I'm looking at it, and I was like, immediately your mind starts racing, like, how much is this going to cost to get fixed? Blah, blah, blah. Oh, this sucks. You know, what's this going to do to my car?
My plans.
But you know what? I had 3 people in the car with me. Every single one of them was safe. Nobody else was hurt. I was not hurt. So I'm sitting there, you know, it was my girlfriend and her 2 friends. We were going to downtown Canton for the Italian festival. Her 2 friends walked down the exit ramp, get an Uber. Hilarious. My girlfriend gets an Uber, Lyft, one of the 2, back home to get her car to come get me. I'm sitting there waiting to get towed, and this guy pulls over. And this is after probably like 5 or 6 people drive past. I think even one of them like hung their head up out the window like, yo, that shit sucks. Like, thanks, man.
Thanks,
like, I'm aware of that.
I understand.
I'm aware of that. But I'm sitting there, and I just remember, like, being kind of proud of myself. Like, I wasn't mad. I was like, you know what? This is life. Like, these things happen.
Yeah, you take that.
Obviously, yeah. Nobody wants that to happen, but this is life. Nobody's hurt.
16, you might have kicked the window out. You might have went crazy.
So this guy pulls over, and his name was David. So, Dave, if you're listening to this, the 1 in a million chance. His name was David. He walks in. He's got a cane. So he gets out of his car. He's got a cane. He walks up to me. He's like, "Hey, just saw you. Do you need any help? Do you need to make a phone call or anything like this?" You know, like, it's 2018. You know, everyone has cell phones. Like, he didn't have to stop. You know, there's a really good chance I had a phone, but it was just, and we go back to like that kind of just being a good person. This dude stopped, and we talked for probably like 10, 15 minutes. He told me a story of like when something similar happened to him. You know, he told me about, he had a bumper sticker on his car that said PIB, Put in Bay. So right away I knew this is a good dude. Like, whoever gets out of this car, he might be here to kill me, but this is a good dude. I'm going to get killed by a guy that at least likes Put in Bay, or stole the car of someone that likes Put in Bay.
Yeah.
But anyways, you know, like, and the dude left, you know, tow truck shows up 10 minutes later. It was no big deal. But I just can't help but think that, like, I owe that to someone now. Like, if I see someone pulled over on the side of the road, like, I gotta stop and just check on him, you know? I gotta stop and check on him. But like, going back to that, it's like, man, it's like, you know what? Yeah, for a couple of days, I'm not gonna have a car. You know, bum a ride here, bum a ride there, you know, whatever it is. But, like, it could be so much worse. It could be so much worse. You gotta pay, you know, whatever you gotta pay to get fixed, but that's life. You know, these things happen. And I like to think that was my 10%, 90%, and I chose to have a good attitude about it. And it's nothing now. Like, it's something that happened. It's water under the bridge. So,
dude, yeah, hell yeah. Pay it forward though. That's one of the greatest.
I do.
Yeah.
You know what? I passed someone a couple of days later on the highway. I was going like 75, but I was in the passing lane, so it was like 3 lanes over. By the time I even crossed my mind, there's no way I could have like got off, you know, unless I would have gone in reverse for like a mile. But
stranger danger.
I do. I owe someone, so.
Dude, we all do.
Yeah.
Really.
Absolutely. All right, man. That's a good one to end on.
Let's get it. That was 4 quotes later. We out here.
We out. Dropping knowledge, son. All right.
Everybody have a good one.
Have a good one.